Okay. Well, hello everybody. Hope you're good, and welcome to this interview with my good friend Mishka. I took this opportunity because Mishka is playing in Lisboa this Saturday, January 25th, at Tokyo. He's going to do an acoustic show. It's been quite some time that Mishka hasn't come to Lisboa, so I took this opportunity also to test this new StreamYard thing to do live interviews because I want to get into interviews and podcasts and stuff like that. So I say, well, I might as well try it with Mishka. So, Mish, where are you right now? Barcelona, right?
Yeah, yeah, in
How
beautiful
was
city.
the date in France and Spain?
So the date in Spain is tonight. Actually, I haven't done it yet. Um,
Okay,
and
okay, I thought it was yesterday.
yeah, it's at Lanao tonight. The France gig was cool. Yeah, it was a really tiny place in Manen, which is like near Po, about an hour from Biarritz, around there. It was
And
beautiful
and
country.
uh, where do you play tonight in Barcelona?
A place called Lanao.
Okay, I don't know. But it's looking
Yeah,
good.
yeah, it looks pretty good. I mean, for first time here, we'll see how it goes because I've never been here before. So.
It's your first time. You never played Barcelona.
No, no, and I've never been here before. Like my mind is blown. Today we went to the Sagrada Familia,
Oh yeah, tell
that,
me about
that
it. But this
party thing, and I was like, wow, man, this the stained glass
still
and
in
the
construction. Still in construction after 1,000 years or what, I
yeah,
don't know
yeah,
how
yeah,
many
yeah.
years. It's crazy. But yeah, Lisbon is coming up soon. But I have a couple of questions that I've lined
Right.
up here. One of the questions they always ask me is Mishka your real name?
Yeah, as far as I know.
And where did that come from? Do you know?
The
Does it
what?
mean something? Mishka, where the
Yeah,
name comes from?
I guess it means some different things in different languages, but the meaning I got is like in like Russian, Ukrainian, it means like little bear. So
Little, I said, okay, that fits you right.
like a teddy bear or something.
Okay. And you are born in Bermuda and been
Yeah,
traveling around the world. And, tell us a little bit about your childhood, which was quite special.
yeah. I mean, it's so long ago, but it's still some of it's still really fresh. It was, from about the age of 3 years old. I was raised on a sailboat, so we sailed all over Caribbean, Bermuda, East Coast, North America, Canada, and then came over to Europe a couple times. Actually, the first time I came to Portugal was on the boat in like
You told me
1980.
in Cascais, right?
Yeah, no, in Algarve actually. We went to Azores and then to Algarve.
Okay.
Yeah, and then so that was like 1985, I think.
Bro, I can't imagine a source in 1985, man.
Oh,
That
it
must
was
have been
like
some wild thing, man.
man, it was like something from a fairy tale. It was because it was just still like Flores was super isolated. There wasn't a lot of people going there, and it was
Yeah, no,
like
that's the thing. I know. I know still today, there's a lot of people who don't know Azores, and there's still not so many. I mean, there's more tourism,
yeah,
but in 1985, Azores, I can't imagine, bro.
man. I mean, there were still people using like like water mills to grind corn and like I mean, it's like something from a whole different reality, and so beautiful, man. Like the big waterfalls and the flowers and like I'm sure it's still amazing.
Yeah, it's still one of my favorite places, man. One of the most beautiful places I know. But
Yeah,
and how was it like? Did your parents homeschool you, right?
they tried. They tried. um yeah, they homeschooled me, and then I tried to do like back in those days. There used to be correspondence courses, like so they did it through a proper school, and then you do your lessons and send them back in, and but we were traveling too much, so that didn't work. So they really just made sure I could read and write and do some basic
Okay,
math and stuff. Yeah.
and so you were exposed to a lot of different languages and cultures and things from a very young age.
Yeah, I mean, it's been so long and I never kept it up, but we were in Portugal for like 6 months. I started to learn some Portuguese back then.
Okay.
Um, and because of like sailing in French islands, could understand a little French too. And but I've been lazy with it and not around it, so I didn't keep it up. But I still like I can still hear like certain things, so I remember a little bit. But
And how did you get into music?
yeah, I mean, really, from it was like the main entertainment on the boat was like we didn't have TV, so it was just music. It was what we
But your
listened.
father plays or something, or you just started playing?
He plays harmonica. He plays like
Okay.
yeah. And my big sister was like a big influence on me, and my uncle back in Bermuda. Like, so there's music in our family, but my sister was the first one to do it professionally. Heather Nova, about her, right? So
Hmm.
um,
She
yeah,
started
but
before you, right?
yeah, about 10 years before me, and she's about 10 years older. So
Okay.
she,
Okay.
yeah, she went to the UK and got a record deal and stuff, and she still does really well, especially like in like Germany, Holland, the whole like Benelux area, like Denmark and Belgium, and so she tours
And
there every.
how did a boy from Bermuda get signed to Creation Records in UK? It was through your sister. How did that happen?
Yeah, so she was on. I was living on the island of Nevis, like Saint Kitts and Nevis, and she was really good friends with Alan McGee's girlfriend at the time, and she came back to see family there, see us there, my parents and me, and she told them about it, and they decided, oh yeah, let's take our vacation there. It sounds like a cool place, and I was like really into songwriting at the time, like just that's all I was doing, just playing my guitar and writing songs. And she was like, oh, you should play some for Alan. So I did, and he was like, mate, I want you to come to England and make a record. I was like,
Do you remember what songs you played to him?
yeah, I think I played a little bit of what was, because everything was rough. It wasn't even fit, it was slightly different. So it was like, I think Give You All the Love, maybe Happy, and Rain Comes Down, something like, but I
And
don't remember
how long
exactly.
was that? How long ago was that, Nish? That was
That
like
was so that was Christmas time 1997.
90s, yes, so almost in 3 years, it's gonna be 30 years.
Almost 30 years. And then so they were there like Christmas, New Year's, I remember, and then that's when he heard the music. And then March 98 I went to England. June 98 I recorded a record, and a year later the album was out, and promotion and like full on like old school record deal, like videos and
But how was
production.
it for you? Because how was it for you? Because I remember, I mean, you telling me that at that time you were like really like into Rasta and against the system and all that. And how did suddenly you are with the big major label, you have to do promotion, you have to. How was that for you?
I mean, in it was tough in some ways because I don't feel like I was ready for it, and I
Okay,
didn't I
you
didn't
were young.
necessarily.
How old were you?
23 when he
Yeah, yeah.
first said come to England. 20 or 23 or 24, I guess. But then uh it was like there was kind of a struggle internally for me because I really was like I didn't want anything to, like you say, like to do with the system or the industry or anything. I was just really into music and spirituality and nature. That was it. Um, and I probably have my mom to thank or to blame, but she's like, go. She's like, just go and try. Like, you never know what's gonna come of it. And if you don't like it, like, come back and you know keep painting pictures or doing whatever, writing songs, doing what you're doing, and live in the hills like you want to.
But that's
But
what the other question that I was going to ask you is, how did you get into that? How did you get into spirituality, Rasta, and all of that?
I mean, really, because so Nevis is a very small island, and everyone gets to know everyone pretty well, And there was some Rastaman there at the time, and still there, who just really had such a positive vibe, and such a clear message about you know, they were I was a young guy. I was like a teenager, you know, when I first started living there, and so you know, listen to hear them talk about His Majesty and about Marcus Garvey, and also listening to a lot of reggae music, and so the whole thing became like it created a picture and a sort of understanding of life, a perspective in my mind that was I, it just made so much sense to me, really.
It was exactly the same thing for me, bro. It's really the first time I
Yeah,
started meeting Rastas, hearing reggae music. It all makes sense to me. It was like I was hearing the
yeah,
music, hearing what they were saying, and like, okay, this is the life. This is the way to do it. This is what they're saying is my way. That's what I felt.
yeah, yeah. And you know, I mean, from very young, I was into music, and I think music is like a conduit. I think for certain people, it's gonna reach different people in different ways. But if you're into music already and there's a message with it, and especially when you're young, it can be really powerful. And
Yep.
especially when it's truth, it's like, well, it just opens up a whole thing. So you just, you know,
Mala used to say, "Who feels it knows it." You know, and that's it. When you feel it, you know it. That's it, basically.
yeah,
So, yeah, but so you get into reggae spirituality with the dreads and it. How did you? You told me you relate to it through the message. But to you, if I ask you what Rasta stand for?
equal rights and justice. Yeah, I mean, just is this the quickest way I could say it to me is you know, because we can go into a long discussion about history,
Yeah,
and you know, humanity is a long story, you know, but in the current age we're living in, um, and sort of an unawareness of a global existence. Um, I think it's still like the most important message, as you can see with everything going on today. You know,
definitely,
and the more we get to understand it, it's about breaking down colonialism, you know, and decolonizing not only the places and the economic structures, but our minds. You know, freeing our minds from that colonial structure, which is, you know, it's just it's anti-life. You know?
but
So
so going back to your record comes out, you have to do the promotion. How did it go after that?
well, that was a trip because it went from like me in like living in the Caribbean, very quiet life, to like boom straight up into like pop culture UK, and like promotion and record. And I was just telling someone the other day, like the first show I ever did was in Bercy at at a reggae festival there. This
At
no, the
the
second show.
Bercy, 20,000 people.
Yeah, and so it's like that was my second show, so it was like baptism of fire, like just
Whoa!
straight massive crowd, and like wow, like okay, here we go. So because I
Just
so
you
I
and your
think
guitar.
no full band, like I mean this was like
Okay,
record companies like, what do you need? Full band? Okay, boom. Like they just everything was provided, you know. So it
but
went it went straight up, and then about 6 months later, it went straight down because Creation Records was sold,
yeah,
and
okay.
then when they sold it, they dropped like 90% of the artists on the list, you know. So
But that record you made 30 years ago touched so many people around the world. I'm sure you know that. That's what
yeah,
was
yeah,
gonna be my next question. That like now that you look at it, you've done 6 albums since then, but that album is still like even yesterday I was in the car and I was listening to it again, and it's really a timeless album that you made that is beautiful and that touched so many people around the world. And how do you feel about that?
you know what's interesting about it is that I love it way more now than I did then. And I think, you know, someone was telling me this about music. They're like, why is it that an artist's first album is sometimes really the special thing, you know? And it's because, in a way, like as a creative person, as someone who's kind of, I was writing songs and doing things for a long time leading up to that first one. That's like it's like your whole soul comes out in a way.
Hmm.
Maybe not your whole soul, but like a huge part of you is put into that project. and then and then it's like the second record is bound to maybe be somewhat of a letdown because it's like it's not like as many years building up to make it. Not, I mean, some people make better and better records. Like, I don't think there's a Bob Marley record that ever got worse. But I think
It's
for the
true.
rest of us mortal people.
Uh,
but,
uh,
but what I'm saying is like it's a culmination of like many, many, many years and a whole perspective. It's like, okay, like launch this thing and see what it is. So um, yeah, it's a cool record, man. And at the time I really didn't like it, and now I look back, I'm like, yeah, it's a cool record.
and I'm sure wherever you go, people come to you like with that "Happy" is the best song ever, or "Lonely" is the best song ever, or any one of those tracks, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and it was funny in
So,
France the other night. I think a lot of people didn't know it was because it was just a small gig in a small town. They didn't necessarily know who I was. They just heard there was a musician playing, and they came and they're like kind of enjoying it. And then I started playing some of the old songs, and I could see like a lot of recognition because it had reached a lot of people. It's like people started singing
I
along,
know
give you
people
all.
love you. You know, people love you here in Portugal. Even though I was surfing the other day, and the guys in the water were like, "Yo, Mishka is coming back," blah blah. And I'm sure you
Yeah,
get enough, a lot of love when you come here.
I
And
do, man. I
so,
love coming back.
what's the situation? Where are you now? You're in Hawaii now, living in Hawaii right now in Europe, but based in Hawaii.
Yeah, on the island of Maui. So I've been there 15 years.
So the last album is "This Love" is from 2022, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's and I have a whole another one. It's not out yet, but there's like a another big project coming. Like at least an album, maybe two albums in the next year. So
Okay, perfect. You're
yeah.
planning on recording them in Hawaii?
No, they're already recorded. So in the
Okay, okay.
over, yeah, over the past 2 years, I've been working with a really close brethren who's played with me for years. From Nevis, actually, keyboard player and producer.
I think
I
you told me about him. Yeah.
You actually met him when we did Sapo Festival in like 2009.
Whoa, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, yeah,
That was
he was my keyboard player then, and
okay.
we started
Well,
working on our projects in 2023.
but that was
Um,
when I was gonna, because my memory is fucked up as you might think, and I don't remember when was your first show in Portugal. It was the Sapo.
no, it
By the way,
was
the
it was
Sapo Surf Beats is legendary. That
it,
festival,
it
it
was
only
two it
happened
was
once, and people still talk about the festival with the people. You remember the venue was here, and the people were on the hills watching the show for free. And there was Toots and the Mai Tais. There was you,
oh,
Gentleman,
so that was
Souls of
2006.
Fire,
That was 2006.
uh,
That one. That was the Air Seda one.
2006. Yeah, yeah. And that was your first time here, right?
That was my
Or the
first.
second?
Was that the
That's
first
the
one?
thing.
I think that was the first one, 2006, and then I think 2007 we did Sagres one.
Sagres, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
was just there. I told you I spent the end of the year at Arifana. That was really nice one. We
yeah.
had a good one at Arifana also with Tara, the little festival there, Arifana Sunset
Oh, I
Fest,
love
I
that,
think.
man. By the
Yeah,
fishing dock. It was so cool.
yeah, yeah. That was small, but one of my favorite festivals in Portugal. Unfortunately, I think it stopped, but it's really things.
Yeah.
Going there, what do you love the most? What no? What are your favorite your best memories of Portugal?
Ooh. Uh, I mean that festival where you're talking about where the people were up on the hill. That was something amazing with gentlemen
Yeah,
and Toots
exactly.
and hearing Toots and the Maytals in that setting was like I'd seen him once before, but that was like I mean I can't say anything other than it was a spiritual experience for real. It was
Yeah,
like,
man. Toots and singing with the microphone like this,
yeah,
holding the microphone like this. That was amazing. But
yeah,
that festival, I was, I mean, me and you is different because we are reggae heads, you know. But like
Yeah,
for me,
yeah,
it was confusing that people were more interested about Gentlemen than about Toots, you know, because it was
yeah.
Toots. I think it's the only show ever Toots and the Maytals did in Portugal. And on
Really?
that festival, most of the crowd was like didn't know who he was, you know. They just know it that
Yeah,
is that old guy from Jamaica, but that was the
yeah.
legend, man. That was a
But I
big
mean,
legend.
Gentleman was almost like a pop artist at that point. Like he
Yeah,
was,
yeah, yeah. And Gentleman was huge in Portugal at that time, and
yeah,
that show you were saying to the crowd, you were saying, "People of the mountain, say hello to the people of the venue."
yeah.
It was, the promoter was mad because all the people in the mountains didn't pay tickets,
Right, right, right.
so it was bad. It was bad. So that memory, yeah, okay.
And
Sapo,
surfing,
what
you
do
know,
you
like
love?
I loved surfing in Arifana, man. I mean, and just being on the beach there and stuff. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful place, man. One of my favorite places, man.
Beautiful, beautiful
One of
place.
my favorite places. Yeah, I would say, what do you love the most about Portugal? But I would say, I think you said what you love the most about Portugal.
Well, I mean, really, it's the Portuguese people, man. It's the whole community there. It's and specifically like the reggae community is just it's amazing.
And they're all looking
I don't
forward
know.
to seeing you this weekend.
It just
I'm gonna,
feels really free up, like the kind of energy you want to feel from a
that's
crowd,
why for me it's one of my favorite places to live because of that energy of the people, and there
Yeah,
really some really cool guys and really cool places here. We're very lucky. Very lucky.
yeah, man.
Now I'm gonna ask you, but this one is gonna be difficult. But tell me your top three reggae singers.
Whew.
Yeah, I can give you five. You can do top five. You can do
Okay, five
something.
because it's like Peter Bunny and Bob straight off the top, right? So you get one, you get three for one, and the Whalers right there is like you, yeah. So and then Joseph Hill is up there,
For
um,
those who don't know, Joseph Hill from Culture. Culture.
from culture, yeah, from culture. And I would probably have to say Burning Spear, like those would be my top five. But
I
then,
saw him this summer playing Burning Spear. He still mash up everything, man. Wicked,
yeah, yeah.
wicked.
So those are the
And
ones
your
that had a
top
big effect on me as a coming up in the music. So
conscious music. That's what all of them, and that's what we love. You know.
yeah.
Um, then, if you had to choose one song from you, if you had to just leave one song from Mishka, which song would it be? That's a difficult one.
Ah, one legacy to leave behind. Okay.
Yeah, you left already a few ones, but if you had to choose one, just one,
I I mean maybe lonely, because it came just the song came really naturally to me. Um, yeah.
it's a beautiful song. The other day, I was screaming that song in my car like 2 days ago. I hadn't listened to it for some time, and no, I actually listened to the Dub FX version,
That's cool, man. I heard that on
to the
YouTube. It's
cover.
so good.
I'm really sad that Ben is not here. His name is Ben at Dub FX. He lives in Lisboa,
Yeah, he's not here right now.
and he's not here. No, because yeah, I called him. He's in Mexico. They just left last week. They come back the week after. And he was
Yeah,
pissed off too. He was like, dude, Mishka's coming. I want to meet that guy. We should do something together. I'm not in Lisbon. Fuck. Blah, blah, blah. Because, yeah, you guys, I need to link you guys up, man, just to do
yeah, that would,
something. Because he loves your music and he's a really, really cool guy. So, brother, big up to Ben if he sees us.
yeah.
And
I
it
gave
would
up
be
the
good
double
for you
effect.
guys to collaborate. Yeah, and he did a great cover, man. So I listened to the cover of Double FX and I was like, no, I have to go back to Mishka's original. So I played it in my car and I did like three pull up. I was like singing in the car. Oh, man. That's a beautiful song. Lonely. I know
If
you're gonna
thanks,
sing it on Sunday.
thanks. Yeah.
And yeah, so just to finish, a quick word for your fans in Portugal or for people of Portugal. Just say whatever you want.
Yeah, I love you, and I can't wait to see you. And and thanks always for for giving me your ears and your hearts. And yeah, it's just a great connection, man. So
You thanks,
bless up.
Mishka. So I'll see you on Saturday, and I'll let you know when this comes out. Okay?
Yeah, man. Give
See
thanks.
you soon. Blessings.
Bless
Bye
up.
bye.
Yeah.